Excitement for Avengers Infinity War is now palpable. It's really almost here, guys. The 19th installment of the Marvel Cinematic Universe will see every superhero in the franchise teaming up to combat the threat of the intergalactic warlord Thanos. The movie has been set up for 10 years, and it's set to be one of the most epic Hollywood offerings of all time. This video will run you through just some of the occasions it was referenced in the 18 movies that have come before it. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button. It's the best way of keeping up to date with all of our great new videos on Screen Rant. During the video, can you count how many times Nick Fury randomly appears? Stick around until the end to find out if you counted correctly.
Odin's treasures.
Fake. Most of the stuff in here is fake.
The Infinity Gauntlet. Everything that's happened in the Marvel Cinematic Universe to date has been leading up to the cosmic battle that would take place in Avengers Infinity War. But the first time audiences really believed it would happen was during 2011's Thor movie. It was because of the scene in which the Frost Giants invaded Odin's trophy room on Asgard when they were trying to retrieve the Casket of Ancient Winters and were subsequently killed by the Destroyer armor. While they were running for their lives, the Infinity Gauntlet could be seen on a plinth in the background. It was a blink and you'll miss it kind of deal, but it was definitely there. Of course, having since seen Thanos retrieving the gauntlets from a different location in the mid-credits scene of 2015's Avengers Age of Ultron, it was revealed in 2017's Thor Ragnarok that the one in Odin's trophy room was a fake. However, the first thing any true Marvel fan thought of when they saw the gauntlet for the first time, and not realizing at the time that it wasn't genuine, was the Infinity Gauntlet story arc, which Avengers Infinity War will be partly based on.
To challenge them is to court death.
Thanos. Without any shadow of a doubt, the biggest reveal in the history of the Marvel Cinematic Universe was the one showing Thanos as the mastermind behind Loki and Chitauri's invasion of Earth. It happened in the mid-credits scene of 2012's The Avengers, officially setting up the build-up to this year's biggest blockbuster movie. It was at that moment that fans truly realized what the MCU's heroes would ultimately be going up against. And anyone remotely familiar with the Mad Titan from the comics assumed the plot would involve the Infinity Gauntlet. The court death line, in particular, pointed towards it, as it was the Infinity Gauntlet comic book arc in which Thanos was literally trying to do that. Although it's more likely that it will be Hela, as opposed to Mistress Death, that the big villain will be trying to impress on the big screen.
One down. 5 to go.
1 down, 5 to go. In the mid-credits scene of 2013's Thor: The Dark World, MCU audiences were first introduced to Benicio del Toro's Collector. Volstagg of the Warriors 3 and Sif were delivering the Aether to him so he could display it in his museum for safekeeping. Or so they thought. When the Asgardian pair departed, the Collector was heard uttering 1 down, 5 to go, which signaled his intention to wield the entire Infinity Gauntlet. That, in turn, immediately made fans think of Thanos will raid the Collector's museum to obtain the Aether. Also the first time the term Infinity Stones had been used in the MCU.
The Tesseract is already on Asgard. It is not wise to keep 2 Infinity Stones so close together.
Eagle-eyed fans also noticed a cocoon that was quickly deemed to be that of Adam Warlock's, who is also strongly associated with the Infinity Gauntlet comic book arc.
If you bring me the orb, but return to me again empty-handed, and I will bathe the Stallways in your blood.
Thanos' speech. Although he wasn't exactly a prominent character in Guardians, the movie did give him his first lines, and his one big speech was certainly a sign of things to come in Avengers Infinity War. The movie's main villain, Ronan, was working for the Mad Titan, attempting to obtain the orb Infinity Stone for him in exchange for Thanos destroying Xandar. But when Ronan returned to the Master without it, the purple-faced villain was far from impressed. Ronan was an incredibly powerful individual himself, so this really emphasized just how powerful Thanos can be in the MCU. It also made it very clear that Thanos wanted the Infinity Stones, and the whole thing about bathing the stairways in his blood could certainly be foreshadowing the fate of some MCU heroes as they fight Thanos across space in Avengers Infinity War.
The remnants of these systems were forged into concentrated ingots. Infinity Stones.
The Collector explains the Infinity Stones. For anyone who might previously have been unclear about what exactly the Infinity Stones were, what they were capable of, or how they were connected to each other prior to 2014's Guardians of the Galaxy movie, Benicio del Toro's Collector explained it when the titular team took the orb to him, supposedly for safekeeping, in his Museum of Nowhere. He showed the Guardians what the orb was capable of, displaying footage of a Celestial using it to wipe out populations of an entire planet, and mentioned the fact that only beings of extraordinary power could wield them, all while holograms of all 6 of the different colored stones were projected into the room. It readied audiences for Thanos wielding the power of them all in Avengers Infinity War.
The Maximoff girl, she's working you, Stark. Playing on your fear.
I wasn't tricked, I was shown. It wasn't a nightmare, it was my legacy. The end of the path I started us on.
Tony Stark's vision. In 2015's Avengers Age of Ultron, Wanda Maximoff used her powers to trigger a vision in Tony Stark. What followed was undoubtedly a reference to Avengers Infinity War. It showed all of his fellow Avengers laying dead after a battle on an unidentified planet in deep space, all fallen victim to their opponents. But there was one thing in particular that triggered thoughts of a certain mad titan. Captain America's shield was broken in half. The most famous instance of anyone breaking it in the comic books was in the Infinity Gauntlet arc, when Thanos smashed it to pieces with a mere swing of his hand. Could this be a sign of things to come in the MCU?
Thor.
I saw something in that dream. I need answers. I won't find him here.
Thor's vision. Having been subjected to a rather vague hallucination by Wanda Maximoff, the God of Thunder ventured to the Water of Sight with ERIK Selvig to unlock the secrets of said hallucination.
If the water spirits accept me, I can return to my dream and find what I missed.
Men who enter that water, the legends don't end well.
In the vision that the Water of Sight provided him with, he was able to foresee 3 future events: the destruction of Asgard, the birth of the Vision, and the Infinity Stones being brought together. And it was the reason Thor ventured into the cosmos at Age of Ultron's climax.
And I went searching through the cosmos for some magic, colorful Infinity Stone things. Didn't find any. That's when I came across a path of death and destruction.
2017's Thor Ragnarok began with the titular hero having been imprisoned by Surtur whilst seeking the Infinity Stones out, which resulted in him learning about Ragnarok and becoming distracted from his search. One thing's for sure, after Thor Ragnarok's mid-credits scene showing Thanos' ship looming menacingly above Thor's, the God of Thunder will soon find out to his peril just who is looking to collect those stones and what he intends to do with them.
I wouldn't worry, brother. I feel like everything's gonna work out fine.
Sanctuary 2. At the end of 2017's Thor Ragnarok, Thor and his allies were forced to flee from the wreckage of what used to be Asgard as the gigantic fire demon Surtur stood over it triumphantly. The ship they were in was pretty big, but it was categorically dwarfed by another ship looming over it ominously in the movie's mid-credits scene. The ship in question was revealed to be Sanctuary 2, the enormous warship commanded by none other than Thanos himself. It's more than likely that the villains will board Thor's ship, cause mayhem perhaps by killing a bunch of Asgardians and dishing out the beatings that result in Thor floating around space and Bruce Banner falling through the roof of Doctor Strange's New York sanctum, then take the Tesseract from a submissive Loki and go on his merry way.
I promise you, if you need us, if you need me, I'll be there.
Captain America's letter. 2016's Captain America Civil War saw a split right down the middle of the Avengers, one side led by Captain America opposed to the signing of the Sokovia Accords, while the other, led by Tony Stark, approved of them. As a result, the two teams ended up having a ruckus, and several members of Team Cap ended up incarcerated in the superhuman prison known as the Raft. By the end of the movie, Cap had broken them out, and he sent Tony Stark a letter after he did so. In the letter, Cap said he was pleased that Tony was back at the Avengers compound, and not rattling about his mansion alone. Then he apologized for not telling him about Bucky killing his parents. At the end of the letter, he said, "I promise you, if you need us, if you need me, I'll be there." That last line was clearly a reference to the fact that the Avengers will be forced to reunite when Thanos arrives on Earth looking for Infinity Stones. Cap and Tony will put their differences aside to team up against the Mad Titan, along with a number of other heroes, including the ones who fought against each other in Civil War.
Imagine that this is our world, and thank you. And this is another world. Normally they're separate. But during the alignment, everything is connected.
ERIK Selvig's CHALKBOARD. In 2013's Thor: The Dark World, it was revealed that Erik Selvig has been driven mad by his experiences in the Avengers movie a year earlier. After all, he did have a god in his head. He was incarcerated in a mental institution as a result, but the astrophysicist in him was still shining through, something that was clearly evident in some doodling he did on a chalkboard. Selvig put a lot of information down, information that eagle-eyed MCU fans quickly took note of, and there were a couple of things that could be important with regards to the upcoming events in Avengers Infinity War. There was a reference to the Fault, which is a rip in the fabric of the universe that is strongly associated with Thanos in the comics. There was also a reference to the Crossroads, which is a dimension in Marvel Comics that consists primarily of portals to other worlds, which could very easily be prominent in the Infinity War storyline and beyond, especially given the potential links to the X-Men movie franchise going forward. Essentially, while this isn't definitely a specific reference to Avengers Infinity War, there's every chance it could be, and it certainly made true Marvel fans think of Thanos.
Fun isn't something one considers when balancing the universe, but this does put a smile on my face.
And that's the end of our video. Did you enjoy it? Are you excited about Avengers Infinity War? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Screen Rant for more great videos like this one. And the number of times Nick Fury randomly appeared was... We hope you had fun counting. Bye for now.